One, two, one, two, three.
Game on! Game on! It's gaming time! Excellent! Game on! Game on! It's gaming time! Excellent!
This whole sort of series, if we're even going to call it a series, is really just exploring the pathways and finding out, content creator stories. And you're, and I mean this with all due respect, but
It's all right.
you're not usually who we expect to see when it comes to playing video games and streaming on Twitch. And it's
No.
it's so cool. My co-host and I, Dan, who's also the co-founder of GOA,
Yeah.
we often have a joke that we think we're going to be the coolest version of ourselves when we're a lot older, because we're going to be the ones that are going to be playing video games. And I just love this. I can't love this enough. So can you take me back to when you started playing video games? Has it been a lifelong thing for you?
Lifelong. Oh, yeah, lifelong. I have really cool memories of, like, my mum and dad had a black and white TV in their bedroom, and I'd sit on the end of their bed playing the original Pong, the whole tennis thing. And I was so competitive at that thing. I was so addicted to that thing.
Yeah.
And then my parents were pretty cool. Dad got a computer pretty early on, and I was, playing the old mud, the troll down the pathway. I had pieces of paper everywhere trying to work out which way, left or right, where was the river. Played the old mud games, and then I got into the simulation games and SimCity and that kind of thing. And because then I had children, and my way of bonding with the children was, here, son, let's get this Super Nintendo. And of course, then I'd play the Super Nintendo.
Oh, wow.
And so then we had our daughter, and the same thing happened with her. And so we grew up around video games, me with them, me by myself. Of course, my mother plays as well. She's 78. She's a Rust player. Don't know if you know Rust.
What?
Yeah. She's
your mother at 78 is a Rust player.
I know. I get these phone calls she's in this fantastic little retirement village over here, and I get a phone call, and she says, "Are you up?" And I say, "Yeah, it's 10:30. But what do you want?" She says, "Just playing cards." We call them the village people. I'm just playing cards with the village people. But do I need an AK for the Bears?
Oh my God, this is amazing. This is extraordinary.
And I'm just imagining, her friends sitting there with their gin and tonics and their ports, what have you, playing cards. And here's her asking, what's the best attachment for a sniper rifle? She's fabulous.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Wow. This is mind-blowing. Absolutely mind-blowing. So, Did they introduce you initially to Pong? I mean, was it sort of to a degree in there?
I think it would have been my father probably that would have introduced me to it.
Yeah.
And then I just took off from there. Interesting. I've got a sibling. I've got one sibling, twin sister, not into games at all. No, absolutely not. Her whole life not into games. Just not into games. When I first told her about Twitch, she said, "Just explain that. Is it something to do with the cloud?" No idea. No, love her to pieces, but no idea.
That's
no
great.
idea.
Sorry, and look, just quickly, just while it's in my head, like aside from video games and playing video games before you started on this, but what did you do professionally or as a career?
Well, professionally, that was the reason I went to Perth. I'm into academia quite a little bit, and so I went over and I thought, when I turned 50, what will I do? And hubby said, "Why don't you go back to uni?" So I went over and did a bachelor's degree, did an honours research program, and then 2 weeks later did a master's degree.
Yeah.
So I was full on into research. I'm into social work and research and counselling, so that's my background. And so when I bring that into the streaming space, my understanding of connecting with people, and you look at me and say, "You've got such a warm, stream and channel," there's a purpose behind that. A, it's my background professionally, and B, it's missing. It's missing in this space.
Yeah, I wholeheartely agree. It's something that us in our organisation are actually trying very hard to bring into the space, like through mentorship programs and stuff.
Yes.
Because there are a lot of young people who, there are equally a lot of people who just love to play games and are having a great time, and they do it as a hobby or they do it for whatever. But there are also equally a lot of people that find it as a means of escape.
Yes.
Whereas, we look at it and go, it should be a way to support you through those times, but you should be seeking help as well.
Yeah.
Curtin University, am I right?
Yes.
Yes. I'm a Curtin boy as well.
Are you?
Yeah.
Alumni.
Alumni. I studied at Curtin.
Good on you.
Spent a lot of time at the TAB.
Yep.
Did you have kebabs? At the
Indeed, why would you not?
Yeah, exactly. Right, great. All right.
George's, isn't it George's?
I'm
sure it was George's.
George's, Chip Buddies. Yep. No,
Absolutely.
Oh, fantastic. So did you?
There's no age limit on that.
When the hubby said, "Why don't you go study?" Did you come over here with him? Did he come here with you?
No. Well, we actually met in game. I don't know if you know that. We met in game. I brought him home to Australia, married him, brought him over here. But yeah, no, he came across. We both went across. He got work over there, and I went to uni.
So hang on. Sorry. You said you met in game.
Yes, we did.
Hang
many years ago.
Can you give me one moment? I can hear sound effects going on around me. My daughter's playing my Nintendo Switch at the moment, and I think she's behind the screen. Honey, Mila.
Helping.
Okay, all right.
She's helping.
She's gone a bit quiet, which is fine. I've got two daughters. I've got a almost 5-year-old and an almost 3-year-old.
Oh, lovely.
And we've got another one on the way.
Oh, congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, 35 weeks.
So soon?
Yeah,
soon.
Very soon. So that thing, you met your husband in game.
Yes.
This story just keeps getting better and better. What was the game?
World of Warcraft.
Fantastic. Because you, of course, you're a World of Warcraft streamer.
Yes, and now Final Fantasy. I've ventured out just a bit further too.
How long into Final Fantasy?
3 days.
3 days.
3 days.
So I've caught you at the beginning of your Final Fantasy career.
Indeed, yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Is it FF14 online? Is that where you're at the moment? Yeah. Okay. So you love your MMORPGs.
Absolutely.
By the sounds of things.
Yeah. And hubby was like my legendary loot drop. Let me tell you.
Really, your legendary loot drop. This is the cutest thing I've ever heard. So hang on. So you met him on World of Warcraft. Do you remember the moment?
Yeah, Terracar Forest, killing some wolves. I couldn't do it by myself. Yeah, I remember everything. And this little female dwarf came out. Sorry, gnome, I better get it right. Little gnome came on by and said, "You want a hand?" I said, "Sure, give me a hand." We played all day. I said, "You want to join my guild?" "Yeah, sure." I didn't know if it was this beefy fella from California, but he was a Canadian fellow.
Yeah.
And we just became friends, and I didn't know really much about him. He didn't know much about me, and we became friends. And then one day we talked on, I think it was called Ventrilo back in the day. And yeah, years later we got married.
Unreal. When did you go over to meet him, or did you come here?
I went over there. Very brave I was.
Yeah,
I went over there.
Incredibly brave. Mind you,
indeed.
like you're a World of Warcraft player, so adventure is your thing. So
it is. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, what was it like meeting him for the first time? I bet you would have had your heart thumping out of your chest.
Pretty much. But it's one of those things. We were just amazing friends.
Yeah.
And I went over as a friend, and he was a friend. And it was a couple of years later that we actually got married. And so he's an Aussie citizen now. Brought the Canadian down home.
Good
and he loves it here.
Good
he loves it here.
Love it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you're doing really well in World of Warcraft, I see. And I'm not talking about the game. I'm talking about becoming a streamer in ANZ and becoming well known.
Blizzard have been amazing for that.
Yeah, I bet. So did Blizzard reach out to you? Have they just sort of come along and noticed you're doing what you're doing?
Yeah, they did. And I often have just chatting with other streamers to try and help them along. I really want to help other streamers, And I say to them, I literally just had my 1-year anniversary last week on Twitch. I've just had 1 year.
Congratulations. That's
Thank
unreal.
You. And I think it was about a month into streaming and I didn't know about Twitter. I'd started fresh on Twitter as well. Everything was new. Did my research. That's the thing. You get a researcher into this space.
Yeah.
So I did my research on how to send tweets and things. And I remember putting out a tweet with just a picture of myself saying, "PSA, don't let age stop you," kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, Blizzard retweeted that. And then the next week I got this message from someone saying, "Can we call you? We're from Blizzard." And I thought, yeah, who's this really? And it really was, And they said, "We love what you're doing. You're showing that, Endgame is not all where it's at," which is great, It was really nice. And then they put me on the launcher, and they're just a great bunch, the Sydney folks. So, yeah.
Have you noticed ever since they've sort of gotten behind you? And I'm sure by the sounds of things,
very much so. I mean,
you would have gotten there on your own anyway. But have you noticed the influx of community coming to your streams and following you on Twitter and stuff? People are noticing you.
Well, people notice, and when Blizzard start to say, "Hey, look at this person," other people go, "Oh, who's this person?" Which is really nice. And of course, being on the launcher down here is wonderful. And I never thought that I would be involved in BlizzCon, but I was on the opening ceremony this year, which was, I didn't know.
What is that? Sorry, as someone who didn't see the opening ceremony, what does that mean? What do you mean you were in the opening ceremony?
So in the opening ceremony, they usually have a video to welcome everybody to BlizzCon. And in another space, some content creators were asked to provide a video of what the game meant to you. And so a few of us did that, not knowing where it would end up. We signed a piece of paper saying you can do what you like with it. So I'm watching the opening ceremony. My son was watching from Albury Wodonga. We were texting each other, and all of a sudden I got all these oh my gods, and my phone went off. And there was my face on the screen of BlizzCon opening ceremony.
That's great.
telling the story of where I met hubby. So it was lovely.
Yeah, and I love the fact they were telling that story because it's such an amazing story.
Yeah. So it was me actually telling it was a video of me, and I didn't know it was going to happen. So yeah, Blizzard are fabulous. So I'm quite the fangirl.
So has World of Warcraft always been your thing? Is it?
Yes. Yes.
So when did you first get into it? Was it?
It was sort of mid-vanilla. I heard my son downstairs with his mates, and being the right mama bear, I thought, what are they up to? And it was like this mini LAN party down there. There were monitors everywhere and, towers, and I thought, what are they doing? And they were playing World of Warcraft, and my son's like, Mum, come look at this. You'll like this. Yeah, 10 minutes, that was it. And I said, no, I'm getting off your account. I'm going to go buy myself. I've been with it ever since.
Yeah, that is extraordinary. I mean, like I had a childhood where my parents, and with all the respect to them, because they gave me everything they possibly could, and were so supportive of everything, but they grinned and bared my love for video games. If that made sense. Like I come from a family that it's get out there, get amongst it, go camping, fishing. Go out and enjoy the sunshine. What are you doing sitting in front of that, right? And it's only just in the last few years, as this has become more of a career, that they've understood just how deep the passion goes, and now have changed their view, I guess. But you must have been the most awesome mum for a gamer to grow up with.
Probably.
So can you talk me through that? Like when you see the kids on the kids on the games, right? So what's going through your head? You're going that this is cool, keep doing it. Does it does that whole conversation of balance ever come into
always?
Yeah.
Always. And this conversation comes up on stream as well. When people say, oh, I'm having an issue with my mom, because sometimes we don't tend to have a lot of young people on stream, but even partners will say, oh, I'm worried about how much time. We talk about balance, and I know that some parents are concerned about video game usage. It is all about balance, and whilst my children had a lot of video games in their lives growing up, they also played sport. They also were into hockey. My son was into squash. My daughter was into swimming. We'd get up at 4 a.m. and go to swimming training, and so they had that balance. So whilst I might have been a reasonably cool mum in that they got their consoles each year and they got the games that they wanted if they worked for them, they also had the sports as well. So it is very much a balance. I wasn't a cool mum without responsibility, so to speak.
Yeah. What about you? How do you balance?
Do what I say, not what I do kind of thing.
Aren't we all parents like that?
Indeed.
The amount of things that I've said to my kids not to do and I'm doing them. Jesus.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely.
But I think too, like I promote self-care on my stream because that's the other part of why I do what I'm doing. And I can't not do that given my profession. But since I've started streaming, I tend to play less because a lot of my time is devoted to content creation and editing and other things. So I find that I'm not playing as much as I did. I play a lot on stream, but not as much as I did away from it because I kind of want to step away from the PC.
Yeah, of course. What do you find you get the most out of when it comes to streaming to your community?
Feedback from them.
Yeah. Feedback
from them. I say this to people and they don't quite get it. I'm actually quite introverted in real life, away from the stream.
Really?
I'm a very quiet person. Socially, I don't go out and about very much other than with family and very few friends. I interact obviously on a personal level with people at work, but not in an outside kind of space. I'm just not an extroverted person. Now I can sit in front of a camera and there might be 500 people sitting there. I don't know that there's 500 people sitting there. We're not allowed to talk about it. We refer to it as having a cup of tea and bickies with a few friends. The community know that. Don't tell me. Unless someone like, Hazelnutty Games comes over with 1,300 people. And that image of Sheldon breathing into the paper bag in that episode?
Yes.
whenever they see that on stream, they know that that's how I'm feeling because I put it in Discord. But on the whole, it's getting the feedback from the community. People don't see, and I know I'm going to speak for a lot of streamers, you don't know the private messages that you get from people. You know, I'll get private messages saying, and sometimes it breaks my heart a bit, you know, you represent the grandmother that wouldn't accept that I'm trans. You represent the mum that I don't get to speak to anymore because insert any reason here that they are seen as different. And that's why I do it, to be honest, a lot of the time. I mean, I could play video games and chat to my husband and it'd just be the same kind of thing. Yeah. But I turn on that stream and I know that I'm reaching people who haven't got a space like mine on Twitch, because I looked for someone like me 12 months ago. Yeah. I wanted to find someone just like me, sort of close. Couldn't find one. So that's when I said to hubby, who nearly fell off his chair, I'm going to stream. And he looked at me, said, what? I said, I'm going to turn the camera on. He said, no. I said, yeah, I am. Someone might come along. The first day I streamed, I had a follower. Yeah. And I have not had a stream since where I haven't had someone come. Not one day.
Amazing. Do you, the day that you, was there any trepidation in turning your camera on for the
Very
first
much.
time?
Yeah. I wasn't going to have a camera. I thought I'd get heavily criticized for my age. Because my understanding of Twitch was it was Ninja and Fortnite. That was it. I had no idea. No idea what it was.
I think for quite some time there, if you're mainstream who doesn't understand much about the space, I reckon that is your perception of Twitch.
Yeah.
That it is Ninja and Fortnite, because that tends to be the only thing that's sort of your Channel 9s and your Channel 7s and so on and so forth. Yeah. The only time they ever cover it tends to be when Ninja's done something, like he's on Ellen DeGeneres, or when an Australian person has won a lot of money playing Fortnite. That seems to be
and that's it. And that's all I thought.
Yeah, which is disappointing. And as someone who works in mainstream media and as sort of making it a bit of a passion to get mainstream media to change the perception of video games and what they can do, it's disappointing because it is genuinely a space where people come to feel warm and welcomed and accepted because they generally can't in their own lives. That's right. So it's such an incredibly powerful thing that you're doing. The day you turned your camera on for the first time, how did you go? Like, because I know me, I remember turning my camera on for the first time, and it was terrible. It was shocking. Things weren't working. You know, overlays weren't right. The camera was skew if I didn't know what I was meant to say. Like, yeah.
I still have my first one. I've kept it. And the lighting is horrendous. I don't know what I have in the background. And I didn't, because I have two monitors, and I didn't know how OBS really worked. So I was looking at this monitor over here rather than I'm looking over there back and forth. I had no idea what to do, but I knew that I needed to chat. So I was giving Anduin a hard time about a quest I'd just picked up. I was talking about Stormwind to myself. I was just chatting away. And all of a sudden someone said hello, and I thought, oh God, someone's actually here. So I chatted away to them, and then someone else came in. I said, oh, hi, so-and-so, please meet Mikey from Michigan. And it was just like they were in my lounge. Yeah. And I continue to do that. I just continue to chat to people like they're in my lounge.
You mentioned, you know, you're having tea and biscuits with some mates.
Yep. Tea and bickies.
Tea and bickies with some mates, and you're not paying attention to the 500. But if you are chatting to people, you are obviously seeing chat, like just go.
Yes. Yes.
One of the things that I often hear young streamers coming into the space talk about is, I've been on a big streamers thing while they're going 100 million miles an hour. How would I keep track of that? How do you approach that?
It's getting more difficult the more that I grow. Initially, I like to chat to every single person because I think they've made an effort to chat to me. I'm going to engage with them. But as I grow, that's not always possible. And so I have to scan very quickly and just pick out some comments. That's pretty much the best that I can do. My moderators are wonderful in that if someone says something that they think I need to know or is important, they will then at me and I will see that. And I'll get a message from them. And so I look for those cues. They'll say, oh, by the way, did you see so-and-so mentioned this? And so I very quickly address that. They're my moderators. We call them the Coop Squad. Are fabulous. Yeah, they're the Coop Squad. They're fantastic. Awesome. So they will point things out to me. I have an amazing team. We have code words. If there's something I'm uncomfortable with, they immediately go to see that they've missed something. Yeah. We really work smoothly. But on the whole now, I will slow down chat if I need to, or I'll stop playing a game. If it's a really important subject or someone, for example, may be in distress or, mental health concerns come in, I'll just stop playing and I'll slow down chat because hubby is always with me. When I first started streaming, it was at 10 o'clock at night. He was in bed. I streamed from 10 till 2. That's where I got my audience in Europe because I was streaming at their lunchtime and it was lockdown in London. So they were just watching me.
Yeah.
And then I changed my times up. So we get up at 3:30 a.m. and I stream from 5 a.m. in the morning so that I can see my European coop. That's what we call our community.
Yeah.
I see the North Americans, and hubby gets up at 3:30. He's got a day job as well, but he's my head moderator. So he's next to me. So he knows if something's going on, he can act on it really quickly. Yeah, he's amazing.
That's amazing. Have you, like if you're stopping down a game because you're about to have a serious chat, I mean, how serious do you get? And are you conscious of some of the topics of conversation that you are talking to people about?
Yeah, I keep a check on if someone comes into the stream and I immediately know that there's something not quite right with their day or they're upset about something. My moderators know that if it's too triggering, they will DM that person. I will ask someone if I think they need to step out of my chat and go and ground themselves and go and have a cold drink and just sit down for a wee bit. I'm an ambassador for mental health for gamers and streamers as well with an organisation in Washington. They contacted me. So I took up that application. So I do that as well. And so we have resources that we give people if they need them. And we advertise that every stream. We say, here's the resources. Go use these. If someone is very, very distressed, I'll take it out of chat very, very quickly. I haven't had it happen too often, but I'm very conscious of people bringing conversations into chat that could upset others.
Yeah,
whether they're, I have a lot of lurkers as well. I have a lot of second monitors. I'm sure you're aware of that phrase. And so I'm very conscious of holding all those people in that space. It can be a little bit tiring. I'm a wee bit exhausted by the time I turn off because I talk pretty much for the whole stream.
And your average stream, as you mentioned, was about 4 hours, if not more.
Yes, yeah. I've shortened it now because I had to have a wee bit of surgery on my back recently. So now I'm about 3.5 hours. So
you okay?
A bit less.
You're all
good? Oh yeah.
Oh,
I took 7 weeks off. I now have a fabulous standing desk as a result of that. So yeah.
Good stuff.
Good. Now I'm back.
Where did Haughty Chicken come from? And I might say that I'm saying that right? Haughty?
You are. You're saying it right.
Haughty.
Yep, Haughty, as opposed to Hawty. I get every now and again I'll go into a stream and someone will make some sort of lewd comment and I think, only you saw me, darling. I'm not what you think I am. Oh, my husband thinks so, but not you.
So where did it come from?
Okay, so I made this Twitter account. Before it all started, I made the Twitter account and I was looking for an avatar to use. I hadn't named it or anything.
Yeah.
Doing my research and I found this picture of a drawing or an artwork of a chicken in a suit with a monocle. And I thought that's a bit funny. That's a bit out there. It's a bit odd because I was looking for an odd name that didn't attach myself to WoW or anything particular. And I thought I used the word haughty to myself. It's not a common word, but he looked like a very haughty kind of rooster kind of thing.
Like,
and I thought, very much, which is it's so much not me. Such a contradiction. So anyway, I thought, fine, I'm going to call my Twitter account Haughty Chicken. Yeah. And so I did. I thought I'll just, make commentary on politics or something. And not long after that, I decided, I need a Twitch channel. What am I going to call myself? And I thought, bugger it, it's going to be Haughty Chicken. They'll either like it or they won't. And people love it.
I'll make it about politics or something, which clearly did not happen.
That did not happen.
Do you have an interest in politics?
No, I didn't.
No, right.
I was feeling highbrow at the moment, but it didn't last. I laid down and the feeling went away.
That's bloody hilarious. That's amazing. So what is it that you hope to achieve out of all of this? You've obviously got a very good understanding of the person that you are on stream and what it is that you are doing on stream. How far do you want to take it? What do you want to do? Where do you want it to go?
To be honest, I'm trying to at the moment reconsolidate my brand as being less of I'm a general type of streamer gamer, into bringing some of the professional skills that I have. I understand I don't practice in this space ethically. It's not in my code of practice to do that, but I still think I can bring my knowledge into this space in terms of combating some of the toxicity that is still dreadful in this space, not just in gaming but in streaming generally. Misogyny and toxicity. And so you'll often see my motto is be kind to be you. And that stems from the whole, can we bring kindness into this space? You don't have to basically, want of a better term, be a dick. That's pretty much what I see with a lot of people and a lot of behaviour. And so I'm trying to combat that. And so far I'm doing pretty well. You know, I get people coming, I get trolls coming into my chat reasonably often. They don't last very long.
What do the trolls say to you? What do they? Do they go after your age? Is that their natural sort of inclination?
Well, sometimes it's my age. Some try and be funny, and like, you know, OnlyFans when, where's your hot tub, that kind of thing. And I just say that I just say that's Haughty Chicken after dark. That's the only grands kind of thing, and I just sort of laugh at them, you know. And no judgment on OnlyFans at all. Everybody live their best life.
Yeah.
I think probably the worst thing was threats of violence. We have had that come, and you know, it's interesting. There's ageism is quite rife, and I don't think unless you get to my age that you're aware of it. And I think the worst one, that this particular viewer was absolutely furious that Blizzard was promoting me, absolutely furious, and they threatened violence for me, and they were an Australian, sadly, and violence against my husband. They were just so angry that an older person would be in this space when it was more deserving for a younger person to be there.
Yeah,
and they came after me in game as well. Thank you, Blizzard, for banning them. But, you know, that sort of thing you wouldn't expect. But it doesn't deter me at all. As I say, I've got a really good squad of people to protect me. But at the same token, I think if I keep on going and pushing against that and say, oh, no, you don't, then that inspires other people whilst providing that space, you know. Yeah. Absolutely. So my plans is to just keep on doing what I'm doing. I'm trying to get more confident in getting sponsors now as well.
Yep.
I'm sponsored by AMD, which is amazing. They gave me a lovely PC. Thank you very much.
Right.
And then again, they called me 4 months into streaming. They called me from California and said, "Can we have a chat? We like what you're doing, you know." So I must be doing something right. So I'm just going to keep on doing, but at the same time, trying to get a bit of a wider platform in terms of getting my voice out there, saying we don't need to accept this, you know.
I think the beauty about what you're doing is that it's so organic. You know, it's not forced. You're not trying to be. You're just being you, and that is. And as someone who has, like I said before, you know, 17 years commercial content, where like now in breakfast shows, you know, and particularly in this day and age, it's all about being organically yourself. Like the stories that you bring are the stories about your life, and those are the stories that you tell the audience. And that's the best way you can actually relate to and reach people on an emotional level.
I think
by being just nothing but your natural self. So I mean, if I'm a brand and I'm looking around at the space and I'm going, okay, who's a little bit different, a little bit unique, but also the probably top of mind for me is who are just there being their good-hearted self. You know, and that's the sort of streamer that I want to attach my brand to. But that's So you just keep doing what you're doing. I think you're doing a wonderful job.
I plan on it, and I'm being a bit more forceful with them and saying you need to look over here. I'm the demographic of the growing gaming audience, to be honest. There's a lot of older gamers out there, you know.
Like I said to you at the beginning of this, like again, I mean this all with respect because I love what you're doing. But you are the inspiration for my life down the track.
Awesome.
You know what I mean? Like I want to be that bloke.
And my mum's inspiring me, ringing me at 10:30 at night from a card game, asking me what does she need on her sniper rifle. I want to be that woman.
It's wonderful. It's fantastic. Do you find that that since you've started streaming, you've actually found a lot of people in your age group who are also streamers, and like a surprising amount of people?
Still not as many.
No.
I know a couple that are partners. They're not in Australia. There's not many in Australia at all. I actually don't know any. Not in the genres that I play. There may be some in different parts of Twitch that I don't know about yet.
Yep.
But there's not many older gamers. Certainly not partners on Twitch, and certainly not represented. I do have some people in my community who are thinking now about streaming because of me. Which is delightful. And I keep saying, let's talk. Let me give you a hand. As I say to everyone, hubby taught me the concept of cooperation, which is a combination of cooperation and competition. And so we work on the basis of there's enough room for everybody on Twitch. So I put out YouTubes on how I applied for partner, what I put in my partner application, how you grow your Twitter, all this kind of stuff, because no one talks about it.
Yeah.
And I'm not a streaming coach. I'm just a streamer, you know.
Yeah.
But I wish there was more people that were older. But I think they're coming. I think the more they see people like me and that it's okay, although it's a vulnerable space to be in, for sure, I think they're keen now to have a go. So that's good. That's a plus.
So, one other thing, I guess, in terms of you reaching your own goals, you know, if people are watching, how can they help? Like, how can they help you get to where it is that you need to be?
Look, all I would say is if you can watch me, that'd be great. Let me meet you. Let me meet you. Let me introduce you to my community. My community are almost self-sufficient at this point. Someone comes into the stream and they've had a bad day, my community instantly kick into gear and lift them up and say it's okay to have a really bad day. Yeah. Sit with us. You know, just come and meet my community. They're fabulous. If you don't want to come and chat with me, come chat with them. They're really nice.
Wonderful. Well, this has been just a lovely chat. I've really enjoyed this, so I cannot thank you enough for
my
your
pleasure.
time, honestly. And you've jumped into our little GOA Discord as well, and
yes.
you just bring such a positive energy there.
I really like them in there. They make me smile.
Oh, they're a good bunch of people. They really are.
They are. I hope we get to meet some at PAX. It'd be great.
Well, they are. There's going to be a few of them at PAX. Like much like you, sort of 12 months ago, taking your first dip into streaming. A lot of them right now are having that, I guess, sea change to a degree, where they're genuinely looking at it. So it's great to see that people like yourself, but also communities are perpetuating the involvement and going, you can do this. Come here. We'll help you out. So it's great.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing your story with me.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And
it was lovely.
If people want to come and see you and follow you and all that good stuff, where can they do that?
Just do it. Haughty Chicken everywhere. I immediately I started to do this. I claimed the name on every platform except Instagram. Someone's got Haughty Chicken. I'd like it back, thanks.
You're
but I'm Haughty. I know, who is it? But I'm Haughty Chicken Gaming over there. I sound so professional. But Haughty Chicken on Twitch, on Twitter, on YouTube. Not TikTok yet. Not sure how I'll work that out, but anyway, everywhere else you'll find me.
Given how far you're going, I'm sure you will. I'm sure it won't be long.
Soon.
Awesome. Well, it's lovely talking to you, and
you too.
I'm looking forward to catching up again. Good on you.
Lovely. Okay.